This story unfolds through a single, crumpled note discovered under a loose floorboard during renovations. It was written by the previous owner, who vanished without a trace years ago. The note reveals a series of events that may explain their disappearance, or raise even more unsettling questions. This is the note under the floorboards. If you're reading this, then it means I've failed. My name is Matthew Cole, and this was my home. I don't know how much time I have left, but I need to explain what's been happening here. Maybe you'll understand what I couldn't. It started 6 months ago, not long after I moved in. I was replacing the light fixture in the hallway when I noticed a faint scraping sound beneath my feet. At first, I thought it was mice, but the noise was deliberate, slow, almost as if someone was dragging something heavy under the floorboards. I tore up a few planks, expecting to find gnawed wires or some dead animal, but the space was empty. No holes, no nests, nothing. Still, the sound persisted, always at night, always beneath my bedroom. A few weeks later, I started noticing other things. My keys weren't where I'd left them. My shoes were lined up neatly by the door, though I never put them there. One night, I woke up to find every cabinet in the kitchen wide open. I thought maybe I'd been sleepwalking, but deep down, I knew that wasn't the answer. Then came the whispers. First, I thought it was the wind. The house is old, after all. But they grew louder, clearer, until I could make out the words, "Help me." It wasn't just in my head. Someone, or something, was speaking to me. I hired an inspector to check the foundation, hoping for a rational explanation. He spent hours crawling through the crawl space and emerged pale and shaking. All he said was, "Sell the house." He wouldn't explain further. He didn't even charge me for the visit. He just left, muttering to himself. I tried to ignore it, tried to convince myself it was stress or an overactive imagination. But the activity escalated. One night, I woke up to the sound of footsteps in the hallway, heavy, deliberate, coming toward my bedroom. I grabbed a flashlight and swung open the door, but there was nothing there, just the faint smell of earth, like fresh soil. I've started hearing my own voice, calling to me from empty rooms. I know how that sounds. I know how crazy this all seems, but it's real, every word of it. And now, I think it wants me to stay. The whispers are more insistent. The scraping under the floorboards never stops. I feel like the house is watching me, like it's alive and trying to keep me here. If you found this note, then the house has chosen you next. Don't stay. Don't try to fix it. Just leave. I wish I had. I wish I'd listened to the inspector, but it's too late for me now. I can feel it pulling me deeper into the floors, into the walls. I'm becoming part of it. Whatever you do, don't trust the house. This unsettling diary was found in an abandoned briefcase left on a subway platform. Its pages reveal a commuter's growing paranoia, or perhaps a terrifying reality, as they document encounters with a mysterious figure who seems to follow them daily. This is the commuter's confession. June 2nd. It happened again today. The same man, sitting across from me on the subway, staring straight ahead like a mannequin. I've seen him every day this week. Same seat, same expression, same clothes, gray jacket, black scarf, blank eyes. I wouldn't have noticed if it weren't for his shoes. They're scuffed and worn, like he's walked 1,000 miles. But when the train stops, he doesn't get off. He doesn't move. He just vanishes. June 4th. I've started keeping track of him. He always boards at the same station, Middletown, but I've never seen him actually get on. I tried waiting for him today, stood by the platform entrance, scanning every face. I even let 2 trains pass. Nothing. But the moment I sat down on the next train, there he was in his usual spot. I asked the woman next to me if she noticed him. She looked at me like I'd lost my mind, said the seat was empty. June 7th. I decided to test it. I switched trains at Riverside, thinking I could lose him. But when I stepped onto the new train, he was already there, seated across from me. I stared at him, hoping he'd react, blink, twitch, anything. But he didn't. He just stared past me, his face pale, like someone who hasn't seen sunlight in years. When the train stopped, I lunged toward him. I swear I touched his sleeve, but he dissolved. No noise, no movement, just gone. The other passengers stared at me like I was insane. June 10th. I didn't sleep last night. I kept seeing him in my dreams, standing in my apartment, his face blurred like a smudge on glass. I was late for work this morning. The platform was nearly empty when I arrived, but he was there, standing at the far end, watching me. He's never stood before. When the train came, I ran to a different car, but he followed. I didn't see him get in, but I felt him. His presence, heavy and cold, like a shadow draped over my shoulder. My phone screen cracked when I tried to take a picture of him. The camera won't even focus on his face. June 14th. I skipped the subway today and took the bus instead. It didn't help. I saw him standing at the bus stop as we pulled away. He wasn't trying to board, just watching, his head tilting slightly, like he knew something I didn't. I don't think this is about the subway anymore. Wherever I go, he's there. Last night, I thought I saw him outside my apartment window, standing in the alley, but I'm on the 6th floor. June 16th. I tried working from home, thinking I could escape him. Around noon, there was a knock at my door. I froze. No one ever visits me unannounced. When I finally opened it, the hallway was empty, but there was a single item on the floor, a ticket for the subway. Middletown Station. No date, no time. Just my name scrawled on the back in shaky handwriting. I don't think I can avoid him anymore. He wants me to get on that train. Maybe he's always wanted that. Maybe I should. June 18th. This will be my last entry. I'm going to Middletown Station tonight. He'll be there waiting for me. I know it. I can't run anymore. I have to confront him. If you ever see him, the man in the gray jacket, don't try to talk to him. Don't follow him. And whatever you do, don't sit across from him. Because once he sees you, he never lets go. If you're drawn to tales like these, consider subscribing to Spectral for more chilling entries waiting to be uncovered. And if you have your own haunting story that you'd like featured in an upcoming compilation, we'd love to hear it. Just email us at spectralentries@gmail.com. Now, let's get back to the video. This journal was discovered inside a tattered leather bag left behind at an abandoned photography studio. Its entries reveal the unnerving experiences of a photographer who began noticing impossible details in their work. Details that blurred the lines between reality and something far darker. This is the case of the altered photographs. August 12th. I've been in this business for years, and I've seen all kinds of strange lighting, double exposures, and lens flares. But this was different. I developed a roll of film from a wedding shoot today. I remember it clearly. One bride, one groom, a small gathering of family and friends. Except in the photos, there's someone else. He's in the background of every shot. A man with his face turned slightly away, wearing a dark coat. At first, I thought it was just a guest I didn't notice, but I checked the client list. No one matched his description. August 15th. I tried to forget about it, but today I developed another set of photos, this time from an engagement session in the park. He was there again, standing in the shadows of the trees, just barely visible. What's strange is that he wasn't there when I took the pictures. I remember that spot clearly, completely empty. But now, in the photos, he's there, closer this time. His face is still turned away, but his posture feels wrong, like he's leaning toward the camera. August 18th. I thought maybe the equipment was faulty, so I took some test shots around the studio. Just a few still lives, an old chair, my camera bag, the desk. But when I developed them, he was in those too. In one photo, he was standing by the chair. In the next, he was closer by the desk. By the last frame, he was directly behind the camera. I don't understand how this is happening. I didn't see him when I took the shots. How could he have gotten there? August 20th. I can't keep doing this. Every roll of film I develop shows him now. I tried digital, thinking it would make a difference, but the photos are worse. He's sharper, more defined. Today, I dared to zoom in on his face. I wish I hadn't. His eyes, if you can even call them that, are empty, like holes punched through the paper. The rest of his face is blurry, like it's in motion even when it's perfectly still. He's not just standing there anymore. In some photos, he's reaching toward the camera, toward me. August 23rd. I haven't left the studio in days. I've covered the mirrors and unplugged all the cameras, but I still hear the faint sound of a shutter clicking in the dead of night. I burned every photograph I've taken, thinking it would help. But this morning, I found a new one sitting on the desk. I didn't take it. It's a picture of me, sitting here, writing in this journal. He's behind me in the shot, his hand on my shoulder. August 25th. The photos keep appearing no matter what I do. I tried staying out of the studio, but they show up in my apartment now. This morning, I found one slipped under my door. It was blank at first, but as I stared, his image slowly faded in, like the photo was developing in real time. This time, he was smiling. I think he's getting closer. I can feel him even now as I write this. The air feels colder, heavier, like he's in the room with me. I don't think I can escape him. August 26th. The latest photo arrived tonight. It was left on my pillow while I slept. It's a picture of the door to my apartment. He's standing just outside, his hand on the doorknob. I can hear it turning now. He's coming in. If I don't write again, just remember, don't look for me. Don't take my picture. And whatever you do, don't let him into the frame.